Good day to you. This is teacher LELAND, Alejandro, and we're doing geometry today, and our topic is transformation. Now, there are several types of transformation. We have the rigid transformation and the non-rigid transformation. We will start with the rigid transformation, which will be involving translation, reflection, and rotation. The non-rigid will come later. That will cover dilation and stretch. All right, so let's start with the translation first. We're going to see the problem set in the other screen. All right, let us check on the other screen here. Oh, we're on the 10th number. We shall start with the first. Okay, let us begin with the first. All right, here's the first example. Graph the image of the figure using the transformation given. Now, in learning transformation, this involves the pre-image, which is the original figure, and the new image, which is just called image. Okay, so pre-image, and then after transformation, it is called the image. Now, in the first number, what we have on screen is the pre-image, and we're about to do translation. The nature of translation is there is no, there will be no changes in the size or shape. It will only slide to a different location. Okay, so that's the nature of translation. It will only slide to a different location. So there will be no change in the angles, lengths of the sides. If it's a polygon, there will be no change in the sides, shapes, and angles, and the shape and size will remain the same. All right, so let's have the first number. We have here translation. We're supposed to do translation, and then the rule is 2 units left. 2 units left. And so we're going to have this figure moving to the left. And let us see the rule. Okay. All right, so this is 2 units left. That means it will slide to the left side, and there will be no change upward, going up or downward. So that means the y values will remain the same. Only the x will change. So this is called transformation. And then this is 2 units left that will affect the x value. So we shall put there -2. And then since there will be no going up or going down, that means the y will have 0 change there. And this is translation -2, comma 0. The -2 is for the x, the 0 is for the y. And this will affect all points x, y. There. This is the meaning of this particular transformation. Now, you can express this in another way. Say x, y, and then the formula is after transformation, you will have x -2 there. And then for the y, that is y plus 0 or -0. So that remains y. So there. So this is the particular rule. They call this rule. All right, let's get our points. So we have 4 letters at the corner, so that looks like alphabetic: C, D, E, F. Okay, so we shall write C, D, E, F there. So we have C, D, E, F, and let's have the coordinates of this. So we'll begin with the parentheses like that. Our C is located at 4, -2. This is 4, -2 there. All right. Our D is located at 3, 3 at the first quadrant. So that's point D. That's 3, 3. There. That should be 3 there. Okay. Next is we have the point E that looks like at the y-axis that looks like 0, comma 2. Okay, 0, comma 2. So let's write that 0, comma 2 there. And then we have the F. The F is located at the point of origin. So this is 0, 0. Okay, 0, 0. So that will be 0, 0 there. Okay, now these are the coordinates of the original figure, which is on screen, the black drawing there. Now we're going to map this to the new figure, which is called the image. This is the pre-image coordinates. We will now have the image, and we shall call this C prime. This is now D prime, and this is E prime, and of course F prime. All right, that apostrophe is called, it's pronounced prime, like that. So ordinarily the original will be in capital letters, and then the coordinates of the image will be involving the primes. All right, so we're going to have the computation here. All right, let's do it nice and slow. For every x, we subtract 2. Okay, so our first x is the 4. That will be the x for the C. Okay, so our first computation is 4, and this is minus 2, and this gives us 2. Okay, the 4 came from the C. It's over here. Okay, the x value is 4, and so our rule over here is to subtract 2 for each value of x. So we have 4 minus 2, that gives us 2. It's over here, and then comma followed by the same y. Okay, so that is negative 2 there. That gives us our C prime. Our D prime, all right, we're going to start with the x of the D. We're already here. All right, that should be 3 minus 2, and so that should be about 1. All right, so that should be our value for the D prime. All right, how about the Y value? The Y value will not change, so that remains 3, like that. Then we're now doing the E. All right, so that will be 0. Let's do some erasures at the bottom, so we will have some space here for our calculation. All right, we're now going to start with our E. Our E value has x, which is 0, and then we will subtract 2. So 0 minus 2 remains negative 2, and that will be our x here. There. Our y is the same y for the point E, which happens to be 2. You can see that on the screen. Okay. Now, the F point is at the origin. So that means your x is still 0. It is the same as this, 0 minus 2. So we still have negative 2 there. And the y will not change. So we will have here 0. And we're done with the points for the image. Let us clear the bottom. Okay. So these are the points for the image. Okay. Let us now draw. Okay. Let's have it on the screen. All right. So this will be 2, negative 2. So that should be 2, negative 2. It's over here. Okay. Our D prime, 1, 3. So that will be, where's this? 1, 3. It must be this point over here. All right. I hope you can see the red dot that I made. It's at 1, 3. And then we have the E prime. We're now doing this. We're done with this, and we're now here. So E prime has negative 2, 2. So that should be a second quadrant over here. There. And then we have the negative 2, 0. That should be lying along the x-axis at the right. No, make that left side. All right, so that should be over here. There. So we have the 4 red points in our x and y coordinate axis. And all we need to do is just connect this. All right, let me just connect. So that will be going there. Okay, and then this will be going here, and then this will be going down there, and of course this will be going there. All right, that completes our translation. So this is the computation in doing that, so that you will have the coordinates. Let me make that a brace there. All right, so these are the computations, and you're able to see how it's done. All right, and so that's it. This is the first example, and you see there's no change in the figure. The size, the shape, and the angles, they're the same. It only slided to the left. All right, so that's it for the first example. Let's have our next. All right, let's have our next. Okay, graph the image of the figure using the transformation given. Translation 2 units up. All right, so this time we're moving vertical. That means the y values will change. The y values will change. And if it's only going up, that means the x values will not be affected. Okay, the horizontal uh, measurements and numbers will not be affected. So only the y values. All right, so let us have the rule first. This is translation, and there will be no changes in horizontal. Okay, so that means 0, comma. All right, there will be 2 units up. That means positive there. So it's translation 0, comma 2, operating on each point x and y there. And this means x, y rule will be x will not be affected because you will add or subtract 0, okay, to x, and it will remain x. Now, the y is supposed to be 2 units up, so we're adding 2 units. So this will be y plus 2 there. All right, so we have the rule now. We will just collect the points. This is again alphabetic, so it looks like C, D, E, F. All right, we have the point C, the point D, the point E, and the point F there. Okay, so our first point here is C. That looks like a negative 4, 1. So this is negative 4, 1 there. Our point D is at negative 2, 3. This is negative 2, 3 there. Negative 2, 3. Our point E is located at the first quadrant, 3, 3. So I suppose you're already familiar on the points, okay? The rectangular coordinates on the first, second, third quadrant, and you know how to get those points, okay? So our point E is at 3, 3. Our point F looks like at the point of origin, so that looks like 0, 0. There. All right, so we're going to map this to the point C prime, and then D prime, and then E prime, and then F prime. This will be the points for the image. Okay, we're done with the pre-image. Okay, according to the rule, the x values will remain the same. So this is negative 4, negative 2, 3, 0. There. And we have y plus 2. Okay, so that means we're going to increment or add 2 units to each value of y. All right, let's go back to our point C. Our y value for point C is 1. Okay, so take a look at your screen, and we have 1. All right, it's over here. All right, so 1, we add 2. That should be 3. So our value here is 3. We're done with the C prime. Okay, let's now continue with the D prime. All right, let me just erase this. All right, let's compute now our y plus 2. Okay, our y for D is 3. and we add 2, that should be 5. All right, so this is 5 over here. Okay, all right, let's remove that. Let's continue with our point E prime. Okay, for E prime, we will get the Y value from the E. So the Y value is 3. We're going to add 2. And that looks like 5. So this is 5 also. Okay. And for the F, okay, let me erase that because we write there. All right. For our F, our Y is 0 there. So the 0, we add 2. That should be 2. And that will be for our F prime there. So we're done with the points. These are the points. Okay. All right. So we're now going to continue for our image. Okay, we're going to plot these points. Okay, we're going to plot these points. All right, let's start with the C prime. -4, 3. So we have -4 and then 3. That must be up here. Okay, try to see the x and y coordinate system. Our -2, 5. That will be our D prime. D prime is -2, 5. So -2 and then 5. There. Okay, let me make it larger. All right, a little larger. All right, there. Next point is E prime. That's in the first quadrant. They're both positive. So 3, 5. So 3 and then 5 upwards. That should be there. And then finally, the F prime is 0, 2. So that will be 2 units above the origin. It must be somewhere here. All right, there. All right, the 4 red points on screen. We're going to connect this. So we just connect this with the straight sides. All right, that will be it. And then this goes there, and then this goes there, and this goes there. All right, there. So that is the translated figure, the red figure, and we're done. All right. Okay, so that be for number 2. Let's have our third example. All right, third example. All right. Okay, here's our third example. Translation 2 units right. Okay, graph the image of the figure using the transformation given. So we have here number 3, translation 2 units right. All right, so that means we're going to have a horizontal movement here, horizontal, perfect horizontal. So that will affect the X and it will not affect the vertical change. Okay, so this is 2 units right. So that means our Y movement is 0. So we will have this way. This is the symbolic translation. Okay, this is 2. Okay, because this is going right. So we're adding 2 to every X value. Okay, and then there will be no movement vertically. That means it's a 0 there. All right, so this is now operating on X, Y. Okay, this is translation to 0. Okay, on the point for every point X, Y of the figure. Okay, all right. So all we need to do is express this X, Y, and the equivalent of this is X plus 2, and this will remain Y because this is 0 there. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's continue with our points. All right, this is UVWX, okay, alphabetized, UVWX. So UVWX, there. Okay, there. UVWX. Our point U is along the y-axis below the point of origin. So this is 0, -2. And our V is -1, 3. Our W is -2, 4. That's -2, 4, and our x, that's finally -4, -1, okay? -4, -1. Well, in getting those coordinates, you must be familiar in plotting points, okay? And reading the coordinates on the Cartesian coordinate system. All right, so you will always double check that. So point U is just below the origin by 2 units. So that's 0, -2. Our point V is in the second quadrant. That's -1, 3. Okay, and then our point W is also the second quadrant, -2, 4. -2 because it's along the X at the left side, and then going up, that's +4. And then finally, our point X is at the third quadrant. That should be -4 to the left and then going downwards by 1 unit. So both are negatives, -4, -1. All right, so this is going to be mapped to the U prime, and then this is V prime, and this is W prime, and this is X prime. There. Okay, so we will have the coordinates. For the x, you will just have to add 2. Okay, you will find it here, x plus 2. So for every x, you will add 2. All right, let's start from point ux. That's a 0. Okay, you can see it here. That's a 0. So that will be something like 0, add 2. And that gives us 2. So that means this is 2. Next value is -1. For the x of the point V, that's a -1. So -1, you add 2. And that results to a +1. Yeah. Okay, all right. How about our x for the point W? Our x is -2. So -2, you add 2, it's a 0. There, that means this is 0. And then our point x now, point x, that's -4 for x. And then we add 2. So that's a -2 there, okay? So this is -2. How about the y values after the comma? Of course, we will just copy the y because it says there it remains y. All right, so the y will remain -2, getting that from the original point u. Then from the original point v, our y there is 3. From point w, our y there is 4. And now we're in the point x. The original y there is -1. So this will still be -1 over here. Okay, and then we will close it by parentheses. There. All right, these are the points for our translated figure. We're now ready to plot and draw the sides, and we shall be able to have the figure. Okay, let us start with point u prime. U prime is 2, -2. Okay, 2, -2. So that should be over here, 2, -2. That's the first point. And then v prime is 1, 3, first quadrant, 1, 3. Okay, let me change that. That looks like a short line. Okay, 1, 3 over here. All right, there. Okay. And then we'll now continue with 0, 4. All right, 0, 4 is up here. Up here. Let me do it exactly. It must be somewhere here. There. Close enough. All right. And then the fourth and final point, -2, -1. That must be at the third quadrant. -2, -1 must be somewhere here. There. All right. Close enough. Now we have the 4 points. All we need to do is connect these 4 points using a straight line. All right. So let me do that. Must be this. And then going down there. And then from here going up. And then from here going there. All right. Okay, let me do a little adjustment. Okay, that should be it. All right. That's the translated figure. right? 2 units right. All points will move to the right, okay? All right, that will be translation. All right, let's have the fourth example. Okay, I hope you were able to learn from the first three. Let us have the number 4. Okay, here's the fourth example. Translation, 4 units right, 1 unit up. Okay, graph the image of the figure. The rule is 4 units right, 1 unit up. So what do we mean by 4 units right? That means positive 4. Okay, so translation positive 4 and 1 unit up, that must be going up positive 1. So that will affect the y there. So translation 4 comma 1 or translation 4 1 affecting all points x y there. Okay, so we can write this rule in another way. X y represents the original points, and then this means the new computed x and y will be x plus 4 comma y plus 1 there. Okay, so you see we have formulas for computing the coordinates. Okay, x plus 4 for the new x values and y plus 1 for the new y values. Now let's gather all the important vertices of the polygon. This is alphabetic, Z, D, E, F. So we start with C, and then D, and then E, and then F. All right, here are the 4 points of the quadrilateral. Our point C coordinate, that looks like -5, 2. Okay, so be careful when you read -5, 2. Our D is -4, +4. -4, +4. Our point E is -2, +2. -2, +2. There. So -2, +2. And our fourth and final point, that looks like at a -5, 1. Okay, -5, 1. There. Okay, so we're going to compute for the new points. We will have C prime, we will have D prime, we're going to have the E prime and the F prime there. Okay, this will be the new points for the image. All right, so let's compute. Let's start with the x value of the point C. Okay, that's -5. And we are supposed to add 4. So that results to a -1 there. So our first computed point is -1 there. All right, how about the y value? The y value for point C is 2. Okay, 2. And what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to add 1 here. Add 1. So add 1. That makes 3. So our computed value here is 3. There. Now we're going to do that for D, for E, and for F. Okay. All right, let's do our point D. Going back to the x rule here, that means x plus 4. So that means -4. We're doing D now, so the x there is -4. Okay, the x there is -4. We're going to add 4. -4 plus 4 is 0. That means we have a 0 here. And then followed by the y. What is our y? We're going back here. Y plus 1. And our y for D is 4. We're going to add 1. That gives 5. So the value here is 5. There. Okay, we're now ready to do our E prime. Let's get ourselves some space. All right, let's clear out the lower portion so we can write more computations there. All right, we're beginning now with x plus 4 again. So we have the -2, that's the value of x for E. Okay, going back to point E, the x is -2. All right, we're going to add 4. That gives us a +2. Okay, so that goes over here. Now we're ready to compute our y. Okay, our y coming from point E, that's also 2. The rule for y is y plus 1. So y plus 1, that should be 3. All right, so this is 3. There. And then our point F, okay, our point F, all right, let me put a fence there. All right, our point F, we have our x, that's -5. We're going to add 4, and that should result to a -1. So this is -1 over here, comma. We're now going to use the y value for point F, and that starts with the value 1. And then the rule is y plus 1, so this is 1 plus 1, which is just 2 there. So this is now 2, all right, there. And we now have all our points there. So we have the C prime, D prime, E prime, and the F prime. We're now ready to draw our translated figure. Let us start with -1, 3. Okay, so that looks like at the second quadrant, -1, 3 points is over here. Okay, next we have the 0, 5. That should be along the y-axis. It should be up here. Okay, all right, there. 0, 5. And then we have 2, 3 at the first quadrant. That must be somewhere here. 2, 3. And then finally, that's -1, 2 at the second quadrant. -1, 2 is over here. All right, there. Okay, so that will be our rough points there. We'll just connect using a straight line. All right, so let me start here, and then going down there, and then over here, and then over there. All right, that's it. That's a rough estimate of the figure. Close enough to the original figure. All right, there. We can always verify the answer if you want to. The actual figure is right here. Let me get that. It's over here. There, okay? So it shows the answer, which is very, very close to our drawing, okay? There, you can see it blinking while I press it there. All right, there. So it's close enough to our drawing. All right, so our computation is correct, and that goes to our number 4 example. Let me continue with another examples. Let's have the next. All right, let's have the next one. Here's the next one. This is very easy. Translation 1 unit down, okay? 1 unit down. So it will affect the vertical movement. That means there will be no horizontal movement. X is 0 here. X is 0. So this is translation 0. And then 1 unit down. So going down is negative. So going up is positive. So this means 1 unit down, it's a -1. So our numbers after the letter T, 0, comma, -1. This affects all points. Okay, and by using the rule, this will be x, y for the original points from the pre-image going to the image. That will be x only because it's a 0 there. Our y is y -1. There. Okay, and we shall get our points now. Alphabetized. That looks like K, L, M, N. Okay, we'll start with K, and then L, and then M, N. Okay, these are the open parentheses. We'll just get the coordinates, then compute, and then drawing. All right. Our K is at -5, -1. So this is -5, -1. Okay, our point L is at the second quadrant, -5, +1. -5, +1. Our M is -3, 0. That's -3, 0 there. negative 3, 0. And then our fourth and last point, that's at the third. So negative 3, negative 3, at the third quadrant. So negative 3, negative 3. There. And then we will compute the K prime, the L prime, the M prime, the N prime. Okay, so the X, according to the rule, remains X values. So we will just rewrite them. These are as follows: negative 5, negative 5, negative 3, negative 3. How about the Y values? The Y values for each point KLMN, negative 1, and then 1, and then 0, and then negative 3, we're going to subtract 1. All right, let's take our Y for the point K. All right, it's a negative 1. The formula is Y minus 1, so this will have minus 1. And that adds up to negative 2. That means this is negative 2 there. Next point is L. The Y in the point L is 1. Then we will subtract 1. That looks like a 0. And so this is now 0 there. Next is point M. Our Y there is 0. Okay, let's put it over here. 0 and then minus 1. That remains negative 1. So this is negative 1. And then we have negative 3 for our point N. And then minus 1. So this is negative 4. And so this is negative 4 there. Okay, so this is now going to be our 4 points. All right, we're ready to plot the points negative 5, negative 2. So where is negative 5, negative 2? It's down here. There. Okay. Our negative 5, 0 is right here. I hope you can see it. There. And then negative 3, negative 1 at the third quadrant. So negative 3, negative 1 must be along the side MN here. There. Okay. I made it larger. And then we have negative 3, negative 4. That must be just below the N. There. All right. Excuse my points. All right. That will be hidden later. All right. Let's just connect this. All right. So let me draw the sides. There. And then down, going there. And then this. And then that one. Let me do adjustment. Let me do it with a straight. Okay, let me get the straight. All right. Must be over there. Okay, and this one needs, okay. And then let's do a little erasure on the points. Okay, that must be close enough. All right. That will be the translated figure downward. Okay, so that's it. So this is how to compute. Okay, this is how to compute, and for accurate drawings, try to do computation. All right, so that goes to our number 5. Let's have our number 6. Okay, here's our number 6. So this is just 2 units left. Okay, 2 units left. You can actually, at this point, you already know how to do that. Okay, you will just locate all corner points and then connect it with straight lines. So when you say 2 units left, that means all the 4 points move to the left. By 2 units, the point J must be over here. There. And this must be the J prime, okay? J prime, there. Okay, how about the I prime? All right, the 2 units left also. That should be over here. Okay, this will be called I prime. Yeah. And then we will have the H prime. There. And then the K prime. Okay, that should be it. K prime. Yeah. And then we will just connect this. We will just connect this all. So I will start from here, and then here, and then here, and then here. There. Okay. 2 units left. Okay. So without computation, you should be able to do that when you're familiar with this procedure already. But I prefer the computed value because that's a lot more accurate. Okay. That's a lot more accurate. All right. So let's go to the next one. Okay. 4 units right, 1 unit up. Okay. All right. How do we do this? All right. 4 units right, 1 unit up. So both numbers are positive. Going right, positive 4. Going up, that's positive 1. So this is translation 4, 1 on XY. There. Okay. All right. So this means XY. And we will have our computed points x plus 4. This is the rule, x plus 4, y plus 1. There. All right, so we will gather our points. This alphabetized. So this looks like T, U, V, W. T, U, V, W. So this is T, U, V, W. There. All right, our points are T, U, V, W. Our point T coordinate, that looks like negative 4, 2. Okay, negative 4, 2. You should know how to read this. Our point U is negative 4, 3. Negative 4, 3. Our point V is negative 1, 3. Negative 1, 3. Our point W is negative 1, 0. There. Okay, then we're going to map this to T prime, this U prime, and then this V prime, and this will be a W prime. There. Okay. So for the X values, we will add 4. So let's start with the value of X for the T. It's a negative 4. Okay, that's the X of point T. We're going to add 4. That gives 0. That means this is 0. There. Okay, let's compute all X first. All right. Now, point U is also negative 4. So that will also result to a 0. And then our point V, the X there is negative 1. And so we add 4. That must be about positive 3. So this is positive 3 over here. And so our point W, the X value there is also negative 1. That means we will also have 3. Now we're going to compute the Y values. Okay. For every Y, you add 1. Okay. We're going to add 1. So our Y we're going back to point T. Okay. That's a value 2. The Y there is 2. We add 1. That will be 3. So this is 3. Okay. Let's proceed to point U. The Y value there is 3. We will add 1. That gives us 4. Remember, we're using this rule here. Okay, Y plus 1. So that is 3 plus 1. So we have 4. Now we have our point V. Okay, that's also a value 3 for each Y. Okay, so that's a 3. So that will also result to 4. And that's it. We're done up to V. We're now doing W. Our rule for W is we add 1. Okay, so that looks like 0. We will add 1. That will also be 1. And so this is 1 over there. Okay, so we're done with our image points. All right, this is the image now. The pre-image is the original. So this is now the image. All right, let's plot the points, then connect them with straight lines. Okay, T prime is 0, 3, so it must be here. U prime is 0, 4. So 0, 4 is right here. Okay, now 3, 4, that must be up here. There. And finally, 3, 1, it should be down here. All right, there. Okay, you can see 4 red dots there, 4 points. We shall connect this with straight lines. Okay, let me try connecting this. All right, and then we get this, and from there, and here. All right, close enough to the original figure. That should be the answer. All right, we can always verify that. Okay, the computer has the answer. There, okay, it will match our drawing. See, okay, that means we're correct. Okay, so these are the correct values, computed values there. Okay, so I think 7 examples are enough, and you'll be able to do this in your papers or online exams or assignments. Okay, this is translation, and next time we will be doing the reflection. All right, that will be all for today. I hope you learned this part. We will be doing the reflection next time. Okay, bye-bye.